watching EDFL Web TV from the Sporting Globe, 690 Mount Alexander Road in Moonee Ponds. Adam, it's not quite the halfway mark in Strathmore Community Bank Premier Division, but it is in Essendon Ford Division 1, and we're actually a game past the half in Division 2, so no better time with the long weekend than to take stock of where things are at, and we'll do it wrapped up with a bit of a match preview for round 9. So let's get started and jump straight into our match for broadcast on Northwest FM 98.9. It is the Essendon Doodle Stars heading to Charles Mutton Reserve and taking on the Northern Saints. Essendon Doodle Stars, no wins. Northern Saints, 1 win. This looks like the relegation decider. It won't be mathematically decided this weekend, but gee, it's going to really set the tone for the second half of the year. It's
a bigger game for Essendon Doodle Stars than it is for the Northern Saints. Obviously, the Saints have that win in the bank, a really big win against Aberfeldy a couple of weeks back, but I've had a look at the draws, Teo, and the draw is not very kind to Essendon Doodle Stars in the second half of the year. On the flip side, Northern Saints, they could possibly win 3 of their next 4 games. Just who they've got coming up after Essendon Doodle Stars, which is obviously a winnable game for them. They have Pascoe Vale the week after that, Keilor and Maribyrnong Park after that as well. So I can see them perhaps winning 3 of those 4 games, the Northern Saints, and they might even be able to push Keilor as well the second time around. They obviously learn a lot of lessons from that first game all the way back in round 2. So this is absolutely crucial for Essendon Doodle Stars. If they can't get up, I can't see them staying up in the Premier Division this year. Northern Saints win. Obviously, it sets up a 2-game break over Essendon Doodle Stars, and they'll have some more winnable games coming up.
Now, I can tell you that in the footballer, I'm the lone wolf. I'm the only person tipping the Essendon Doodle Stars this week out of the 12 tipsters, Adam. So,
keeping the faith?
Am I crazy, or is this one really as clear-cut and one-sided as it looks? Because this is a Stars team that has lost 4 games by a goal or less, and I really do think that this might be, with the absolute pressure, careers, or reputations, not careers, but reputations on the line, the club's survival in the division on the line, and possibly the coach's job on the line. I really think that this is the game where finally they get over the line and manage to pull off what would probably be considered an upset, all things considered, including the Northern Saints' very good form in the last couple of weeks.
To be completely honest, and this might be contrary to a lot of opinions out there in EDFL land, but I think on paper Northern Saints are better than Essendon Doodle Stars. We know the Stars obviously invested not overly heavily, but they did invest in the pre-season to try and be a bit more competitive, and obviously it hasn't necessarily paid off so far this season, but they'll beat a more desperate side, which makes this a very even game of football.
All right, let's stay with the relegation theme, because Pascoe Vale are taking on Airport West this weekend, and Paco, by some distance, Adam, have the worst percentage in the league. What they do have is that crucial 3rd win. The comeback against Maribyrnong Park looks absolutely priceless right now. Do you think, though, that bad percentage of theirs could come back to bite them in the second half of the season? And also, Airport West only just getting over the line against Essendon Doodle Stars. Are they treading water at the moment, or can they actually start to lure us back in and make us believe that they could bridge the gap to the top 4? Because I guess I've stuck with them longer than most, and even I'm willing to jump off the bandwagon at this stage. I just don't know if they can close the gap.
Pascoe Vale, fair enough to say that they'll be barracking pretty hard for their neighbours over Sydney Road there in the Northern Saints on Saturday. A win for the Northern Saints makes it a hell of a lot easier for Pascoe Vale to ensure that they survive. As far as Airport West is concerned, I can't see them making it, Teo, but they've got to go for it. I mean, this is a situation at the moment where 4th spot is going to be up for grabs right up until the death of the home and away season. So they've just got to go for it, Airport West. They've got to try and scrag together as many wins as possible. The odds are stacked up against them. They haven't done enough so far to show me and a lot of EDFL pundits that they are worthy contenders in finals football this year. But the way the ladder is poised at the moment, they've just got to go for it, Airport West.
Now, the other game which has a bit of a relegation sniff to it is Greenvale taking on Maribyrnong Park. Greenvale, they're actually now probably the team in the most clear-cut situation in the competition. They just have to keep winning, and they know the task from here to make it into the top 4. We're starting to get the answers about where Greenvale are at, and that is that their players are coming back, their game style is starting to click, and they're playing well. So Greenvale, we seem to have fewer questions than answers at the moment, but Maribyrnong Park, that is where the big question mark is. Never easy to go up to Section Road. I don't think anyone expects them to win, except maybe deep within the inner circles at Maribyrnong Park, where perhaps, they've got to keep the confidence high and the morale high. But really, with only 2 wins, and as emphatic as they were in beating Essendon Duda Stars when we saw them on Match of the Day, is the relegation threat going to become that little bit more real for Marby this weekend, regardless of the outcome between Northern Saints and the Essendon Duda Stars?
Yeah, look, Marby's probably safe. I reckon they will just sneak home, but they will obviously be wanting to win this game of football this weekend. The draw, not overly kind to them in the second half of the year. I've only got them penned down as perhaps winning 4 of their remaining 10 games of the season. On the flip side, obviously, Greenvale, their run home in the latter stages of the home and away season is very kind. So the middle part of the season coming up now, they've got Avondale Heights next week, obviously Marby this week. It's the next month or so that's going to be absolutely crucial for Greenvale. They need to get as many wins as they possibly can now, and then come the run home, hopefully with a lot of their guns fit and firing, and they would have had some game time under their belt at that point as well. The likes of your Curettes and your Jorgensens, who's actually finding some form now as well. So, yeah, pretty crucial month coming up for Greenvale with that easy run home, but Marby Park will be desperate to try and get that win because I can't see them winning too many more games this year.
Let's flip it up to the top end of the table because the top 4 all play against each other this weekend. Avondale Heights taking on Keilor. Avondale Heights start a very warm favourite in this one, especially given that Keilor did lose to Greenvale, and there is the feeling outside Keilor that maybe they're the team that is set to slide in the second half of the season. But the ruck situation for Avondale Heights. Nathan Burns got to go up against Andrew Brown, against Dean Putt, possibly Ryan Bathy if he's cleared from the VFL. And this is perhaps Avondale's one great weakness against Keilor, one of their many strengths, but possibly their greatest strength. And of course, Keilor does have a very good backline as well, readying itself to take on the Rose and Galea combination. So I'm actually starting to feel like Keilor might be a chance in this one. But how do you feel about Avondale Heights' prospects of keeping the winning streak going?
Well, what's clear, Tao, is that you rate ruckman a whole lot better than I do.
I do.
Andrew Brown, obviously, his value as a footballer is exactly that, as a footballer, not as a ruckman. I mean, he gets around the ground, he goes forward, he's such a dangerous option, and because of that height that he does obviously have, he's very, very hard to stop. There will be a bit of an issue, though, in the ruck for Avondale Heights in this particular game. Burns been quite good so far this year. He's really stood up tall, especially in adversity, and he's going to be under quite a bit of that this weekend. So feeding it down to that star midfield that Avondale Heights does have could be a bit of an issue, but I still think they've got enough talent around the park. Don't know if Keilor's backline has what it takes to stop your Galea and Rose combination.
And then Aberfeldy taking on Strathmore. This is more or less a battle for the double chance, really. I mean, you expect both these teams to keep winning through the second half of the season. Strathmore, if they can pick this one up, will really start to move into premiership contender talk. Aberfeldy would love to prove a point, and I've got a stat for you, Adam. Off the top of your head, what's the closest game, win or loss, that Aberfeldy has played in this year, points-wise, margin?
Was it Anzac Day?
No, it was a 24-point win against Pascoe Vale, and then the next closest game after that is 49 points. They have not played in a close one. So I really think Aberfeldy could benefit from a close finish, a bit of tension in the last quarter, because as we've seen, when they lose, the opposition kicks away, and when they win, they are one of the best at kicking away. So I actually hope we see a close finish in this one because we might learn a bit about Aberfeldy.
Yeah, and these are the two clubs that are really going for it in that second spot. If Avondale Heights does continue on their merry way and get top spot, then second is up for grabs, and these are the two clubs that are leading that charge at the moment. I think it will be either of these two clubs in second and third spot at the end of the year. The run home is easier for Aberfeldy than it is for Strathmore, so probably slightly more important that Strathmore can get the win over Aberfeldy. But Aberfeldy, for mine, they need to start really showing some good signs against these top teams. I mean, they weren't all that impressive on Anzac Day against Avondale Heights. So they'll want to prove a point against one of the other real contenders in Strathmore this weekend.
That's the wrap of Strathmore Community Bank Premier Division. A bit of a report card on halfway and looking forward to round 9. For Essendon Ford Division 1 and also Division 2, keep watching EDFL Web TV, click the links on your screen and stay with us right here at the Sporting Globe in Moonee Ponds, 690 Mount Alexander Road.